Attention market survivors, money is here. Our precise daily stock levels, our game plan and forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. You might notice there's a little bit of a backdrop around me. I'm in my new official studio space where I get to set up an entire green room as opposed to a little setup, and it is quite blank around me. There's not a lot of things. I'll be putting up some really cool things, some really cool pictures and whatnot, and setting up the green room, so to speak. But first, before we go on, hold on. Your screen is going to turn dark here for a moment. Don't worry. The lights are coming back on, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to share with you our agenda, and it's right over here. Beautiful. Okay. But first, before we continue, I would like to say thank you to our friends and partners over at the T3 Compliance team, who wants you to pause this video right now, read this entire thing, and then unpause. Thank you very much for reading that. And I just wanted to talk about the new month here and what's going on. So, for me, it is a very exciting time because if this is the mountain of the market, I think analogically speaking, and like you're going up and up and up the mountain, like you're starting to turn over right now. You just got over that hump, and that hump happens for me at least every single year after Labor Day. Do you guys miss hitting home runs? Raise your hand if you miss hitting a home run. Raise your hand. I do. I want a home run. Suh. I want home runs. Suh. Now you might be sitting there and thinking, what the hell is this dude talking about hitting home runs? Well, if you've been with us in the Newsbeat live room anytime in the past for the months of September, October, November, and December, January, February, March, April, and May, you would know exactly what we're talking about, but you would notice the start of it starting in September because that is where the market gets good. That is where the news flow starts coming back. That is where people start coming in. That is where trading gets good again. I was doing my best to, and surprisingly, I actually thought trading was all right in the past 2 weeks, especially if you sat there and you held something. And the truth is, you could almost always say that when the market goes through all-time highs. But, I got so many lovely emails from you guys, because yesterday on our Newsbeat, not yesterday, but from Thursday night into Friday, on the last Newsbeat show, we talked about 289.29 as support for the spiders. Day low on the spiders, 289.29. We also nailed the bottom of IWM, I think, within a nickel. That's the Russell 2000. Within, I think we gave 172 on the dot as support, 171.95 resistance. So again, those levels do not always hit. In fact, they will usually not hit. And people have to realize, so what do you do if you're giving levels that are not hitting? Easy. I ignore them. And you know what it's like? I almost find setting up these levels for you guys as throwing like 200 fishing rods, just the lines, not the entire rod, in the ocean and just waiting for one of them to bite. What do you do if you have a line out and nothing bites? You do nothing. You just leave it there, right? And if it bites, that's when you pull. But I have something to talk to you about today. And I think this is a really good time to do it because I want to really talk about how to get how to bounce back strong as a trader, back from what has been happening in the past few weeks. And even though, like, I'm talking to you guys like, you have to understand, like, I did make money. Like, I always make money. I am blessed to be a person that is always able to make money. But it's not the type of money. All trading months aren't created equally. And as you know, if you're trying to make $1 million in the market, let's say you're trying to make $100,000 in the market, it's not going to come in the form of like 8,500 approximately every single month. You're not going to make 8 grand a month every single month to make your $100,000 year. You're going to have months where you're making 1,000. You'll have months where you lose 2,000. You'll have this month where you make 25,000. And what I'm saying is that month where you make 25,000 is going to be this one or next one, especially if you're a Newsbeat Live member, because we are going to hand deliver you the best of the best. And I humbly believe can't ever tell somebody what they can do or cannot do. But I humbly believe that we are going to hit a home run. And as Ken would tell you, when I say that, even though I disagree with his number, he says there's a 100% chance of that happening every time I talk like this. Is it going to happen this week? Maybe not. But it'll happen this month. And that's what I'm insinuating. So, how do you mentally bounce back from the market? I know a lot of you had a good month in August. Me, not really. Like I didn't have a good month in August. For me, for the numbers I produce, I would say it's subpar compared to the other months, even if I made money. So there's a good chance as a trader you're gonna experience some type of crisis. During your life. And I think I could talk about this because I have experienced it many years ago. And my studies show that 90% of traders endure at least one traumatic trading event in their entire life. And whether you're dealing with anything on the side, God forbid, a serious health problem, natural disasters like in Greece, the loss of a loved one, adversity doesn't have to hold you back from reaching your greatest potential as a trader. Mentally strong people often bounce back from a crisis even better than before. They may even report, believe it or not, feeling healthier, happier, and more hopeful after a tragic event. If you survive the month of August, if you have a trading account, things are about to change. I kept trying to tell you, I was imploring you guys that the last 2 weeks of August sucked. I'm going to tell you that next year in 2019, next year in 2020, that those 2 weeks of August sucked. I actually believe that this was an exception. I almost feel like me holding back prevented me from making, $50,000 more than I did. And I really feel that way in a market like this. But statistically speaking, I'm going to crush the market now. Statistically speaking, my P&L tends to be at the lower end of the range during those last 2 weeks of August. As a trader, so what do? I've been through this. That's how I know. I didn't wake up one morning, use the bathroom, turn around, and see a gold bar sitting in the toilet, which I said, why? Why would I flush this? You know what you do as a trader to bounce back mentally? You focus on what you can control. Digging in your heels won't stop slow trading from happening, but it will waste your time and energy. Mentally strong traders put their resources where it matters most by focusing on what they can control, even when the only thing they can control is their effort and attitude towards the entire situation. Surviving the month of August, you can reflect on what you've learned. You can learn a lot about yourself in your darkest hours. Well, excuse me, it's not helpful to replay your painful memories over and over and over and over again. Taking time to think about what an experience that you have had as a trader will lead to your growth. And it's going to lead to a decisive action where ignoring problems or, for example, hosting a pity party isn't going to make a difficult situation any better. In fact, the longer you avoid problems, the bigger they might grow. Mentally strong traders look for solutions and take on these issues head on. Mentally strong traders practice gratitude. And I know this sounds weird. I know this sounds weird in your darkest moment. And look, I wish I could tell you I wasn't one of those traders who, had some really horrible thoughts in my head when I was losing money back in the days, which I wasn't really losing money, but like for example, if you have a bad day where you like lose $20,000 or $30,000 or $10,000, um, it could really drag you down. Or if your account's just not going where you need to go and it's not making money, you could have terrible thoughts in your head. One of these things that I've done is over the years is mentally strong traders practice gratitude even during your toughest times. The, Mentally strong traders, we remind ourselves of all the good things in life while still acknowledging the pain. You're going to look for new opportunities as a trader this coming month, and they're going to happen. Sometimes these crisis events as a trader can change your entire life for the better. Sometimes people look as a bad day in the market or a job loss or some financial disaster may force you to change your course. And mentally strong traders accept that they need to adapt to change and they look for opportunities that will improve their lives. You're going to evaluate your priorities. These major crises, and I know I'm talking, I know some of you are watching like, Mark, I was crushing in your room this month. What are you talking about? This is for, the people who survive this long. And, maybe if you even take one piece out of what I'm saying to help you, that will be good. A major trading crisis can cause you to second guess the way you basically trade, every single day on a day in and day out basis. But instead of questioning yourselves, these mentally strong traders tend to turn to life-altering circumstances into an opportunity to take a closer look at their priorities. And through this process, they ensure that their behavior is in line with their values. You recognize inner strength and things like I can't take this market, or I can't stand this, or I can't get through this market, or these insert F word here algorithms are doing blah, 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 blah. This is going to affect your ability, obviously, to cope. The stronger traders draw upon their inner strength and they trust in their ability to deal with whatever life throws their way. It's impossible to be at your best if you're exhausted and worn down. So, even in the middle of the toughest times that you have survived, mentally strong people make sleep, exercise, and healthy eating a priority, which is why I emphasize the importance of these things. I've recommended, um, I've shown you ways that I exercise. I'm not lazy when it comes to work. I'm lazy when it comes to exercise, and I can admit that. I am not the Scott Redler. I'm not going to be like, Scott Redler will wake up on a Saturday and he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to run 15 miles. Like, that's Scott Redler. Like, that's not me. I love that guy. I wish I could be like that. I am not, and I admit it. So, I cater something to myself and I show you guys the high intensity interval training exercises. I show you the things that I use to help people sleep better. I talk about healthy eating, organic foods, healthy foods, even if you can't afford organic, just to go down the route of, so many of these foods. I mean, even dark chocolate is a good food for trading. We show you all these foods. Um, you know, these traders know they can't mentally be strong if they're not feeling physically strong. You ever go and look at Scott Redler's desk? You ever know what Scott Redler, where you don't see Scott Redler, for example? You don't see him downstairs, at the local food cart in Manhattan, dropping $6, $7 and getting like a rice and chicken with that white sauce they put on it. Tastes incredible, I know, because I'm one of those people. You'll find like a banana or an apple on Scott's desk. That's how Scott lives. And that sort of mentality, you would be surprised. What really turns people off from that sort of mentality, I think, is people think they're like, okay, Mark, I'm going to try this. I'm going to eat an apple. And then one day you lose money and you're like, forget it, this doesn't work. You know, it's like, chill. Everything is a process, ladies and gentlemen. You need to remain psychologically flexible in this environment. And recovering from this, whatever, if you are in a trading crisis, requires you to be flexible in the way you think, feel, and behave. Mentally strong people are committed to adapting to their circumstances. Rather than repeat their usual patterns, they're open to creating positive change in their lives. So I implore you that trading is getting better, and the stuff that you are doing in August, which has been working, which has not been working, is going to work a lot better now magically. It's going to just suddenly be clicking in on average more often. Every day is a chance to begin again. Don't focus on the failures of yesterday. Start today with positive thoughts and expectations. I have a new room here. I have a new studio here that I'm setting up right now that I finally moved into for the first time. We're celebrating another to me, this is the start of the market. To me, this is like the market new year. So we celebrate another year ending and a new one beginning because this is where the market ends and really begins to me. No, not at the end of 2018. That's just the new year. This is the real market new year coming into tomorrow. Let us look back and appreciate all the experiences we had and learn from the mistakes we made. That's how we're going to grow in the future because each day from this point on is a new beginning. The chance to do it with what should be done and not to be seen as simply another day to just put in time and wasted effort. And as you begin to live this more positive life, be optimistic with me. As hard as it is, I need you to be optimistic with me. If it's hard for you, it's easy for me because I see it and I've been through it. It simply makes sense that you take a look at your dreams and goals to see if you are living in a way that will best allow you to accomplish them. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you this. You stick on this path, and you are sticking on this path right now. This is where trading gets good again. Remember 3 weeks ago when I said trading was going to slow down and intraday trading was going to get hard and this and that and this and that? Now I'm saying the exact opposite thing now that those 2, 3 weeks are over. Everything is going to be positive from now on. So before any beginning, there needs to be a plan of how we're going to get to the end. Because if you don't create the plan, it's like deciding to, I don't know, play football or basketball without the ball. You could consider this a new beginning as the start of a new year, a fresh start, a new goal, a year to make your dreams come true. Be determined and persevere because I promise you this, ladies and gentlemen, you stick with the program and you keep pushing in the same direction that you are pushing right now. You have my word this. Anything that is good, anything that is bad, you're going to look back at this moment 10 years from now and you are going to say how important that was for you to go through this to get you to that next level. Is that a little too passionate there? Sorry, I was just on a little bit of a roll. I'm going to get right into what we're watching. And that's just coming from the heart. That's how I feel. Let's talk about attention market survivors. That was money is here, fresh market, fresh money. How about our precise daily levels? And again, we called a lot of really great calls here. We called the spiders, the spider bottom to the penny on Thursday night for Friday morning. We called 289.29. We were off by a nickel in IWM. There are a lot of other names there that were phenomenally close as well. And you know, a lot of these things just I don't know. A lot of these things just work. Just keep this by you. It can't hurt you. If these levels hit, you might notice something. Like I just want to point out. So does anybody notice this is the hugest discrepancy here, where the support and resistance on the cues right there are right near each other? Let me explain to you what's happening. So right over here on the cues, you have a triangle wedge forming. That is a very unique formation. As a matter of fact, the triangle wedge where the support and resistance level are not exactly equidistant, but they are pretty as close as possible to equidistant as possible, meaning your support and resistance level are on the same angles. You know, that is a very rare thing for the triple Qs to happen. In fact, I don't even remember the last time the triple Qs did this. Like I'm looking and I can't. This is an extremely unique formation that not enough people are talking about. I'll talk about it here. Why? It's going to force the algorithms to do one of two things. Either you're going to get trapped tomorrow in an approximate, 60, 70, 80 cent range in the Qs, which is unlikely. And odds are we're either going to break out or we're going to gap up and pull in or we're going to break down. So we are going to get some form of exuberance tomorrow, even though people are just coming back from Labor Day. And I think that's going to create some interesting opportunities to people. You know, for me, I guess one of the harder points in my life, I mean, I've been through so much crap, like, notably like where I grew up in Brooklyn, speaking of Brooklyn, right? And getting divorced and things like that. And at the time, it felt like the worst thing in the world. Even like there was a year in trading, I think, where I made like $30,000, and that was coming off like a seven-figure year as well. And that was it 2002? Not 2000, 2003 or 4, one of those 2 years. I have to look up my own notes. But I came off that year, and I was actually up like I think 200,000 that year at one point, and then I went straight down to like up 30,000. So it's not that you made 30,000, it's that you lost 170,000. And I remember at the time how depressive it was in the market to go through there, and how depressive it was to go through something like a divorce for me personally. And at the time, I couldn't see it, but as time went on, I look back at those moments and I wish I could almost go to myself in the future and come back to the past. God, that's confusing, but I wish I could be myself 10 years even from today, come back and just tell me, Mark, things are going to be great. Things are going to be all right with you. Just stick with it, go through these adversities, and you're going to come out ahead at the end. I wish if everybody had that person that could come back to you and come back to you and actually talk to you, you would actually be surprised at what you would tell yourself. So I even ask you now, like, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? I'll date myself. I'm 38. What would I tell myself when I'm 28? Don't marry that woman, right? Haha. No. But what I would tell myself is everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. And no matter what you actually went through, you're going to grow in a way that you cannot predict today. I cannot even predict today where I'm going to be 10 years from now. And the truth is, as much as you would like to think so, you might have an idea, but none of you will be fully accurate on where you are. This market is about to get good, ladies and gentlemen. Newsbeat Live members, I want you to start getting excited. I'm not talking about hitting the gas pedal full throttle. As I said, just understand my analogy. We were going up slowly, 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 like the guy pushing the rock up to the top of the mountain, and then when it gets over, it starts building momentum and starts falling faster and faster. We just got over. So it's not going to be maybe fast on Tuesday, but it's gaining momentum from trading is getting better every single day as of this moment forward because we are past Labor Day. So those are your Newsbeat live levels. How about we talk about our game plan in Forex? And I'm gonna, whoa, I forgot to change that. That's not our game plan in Forex. Let's go ahead and just change these numbers for you guys, and let's go ahead and put in the right name. And we're gonna put it in right there, and there you go. We're watching AOBC for a bullish trigger through $14.04. And if you don't know what AOBC is, it's American Outdoor Brands Corporation, and it's just one of those names that exploded up, remained phenomenally bullish, and just literally close. I love these names that gap up like this and close like right at the highs. These are the names that tend to give you follow through. So, closed 1 penny off its highs, closed at 1403, day high 1404 on Friday. I would look for a follow through on this name. That's Alpha Oscar Bill Charlie. Um, Hot Forex, cold Forex. Took a losing trade and I'm in one that's currently down, and that is the GBP USD. So obviously do not copy that top order because that is a live order that I'm in right now. The two new orders are right over here. You got Great Britain pound Swiss franc, Great Britain pound New Zealand dollar. Buy, size, here's where I'm bidding up to 5 decimal places out. Just put in this order before the Newsbeat show. Here's my stop loss in case I'm wrong. Here's my take profit in case I'm right. And you could go ahead and screenshot this now if you are indeed interested. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have such a good close to the end of this year that I do indeed want you to get excited now. I know I've been talking for the past few weeks to take your foot off the gas pedal, and now I'm going to tell you not to slam it down, but to start pushing forward on it again. And that's going to officially start as of tomorrow. As I say, I always tell you guys how it is. And we're going to be looking for better trading, home runs. I would like to make a couple $1 million this year. Wherever your goals are, I think you're going to be there as well. And this is the time to push the gas pedal forward. The hardest thing I have ever learned, I've been trading shorter than a lot of you guys, more than a lot of you guys. I've been trading 19 years since 1999. Wow, it's actually been, I started in June. I started in late June, July. God, I forgot the exact day. I was getting warmed up in June 99, and now it's August, September 2018. So I've been doing this for 19 years, and I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest thing I've ever learned in the market is when to push the gas pedal down and when to take the foot and lighten up on the gas pedal. That is the hardest thing, I think, for any trader to learn because the market doesn't come in today with like a flashing sign like trading's going to suck today, trading's going to be great today. We don't get the opportunity for that sign. But with what I do here, I will generally be correct when I tell you to take your foot on the gas pedal off and on. I will generally be correct, and that's the hardest thing I've learned. Now we go into our full stock analysis, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm going to break down every single one of the names you guys are watching on your radar. Of course, that is for Newsbeat Live members only. We're the largest, fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.